This is Pokling 888 Telemetrading Daily Market Research and Data Analysis. Here are the top 10 most active companies in the Philippine Stock Exchange in terms of volume. Solar Philippines Nueva Ecija traded 100.34 million. Next, the Monde Nissan with 11.04 million, followed by the Century Peak Holdings with 10.04 million. Next, the Metro Pacific Investment with 8.81 million. Next, the Mega World with 7.39 million. Next, the AC Energy Philippines with 48.69 million. Next, the Abacor Capital with 46.91 million. Also, the Frutas with 14.73 million, followed by the Dito CME Holdings with 9.12 million. And among the top 10 is the Converge Information with 8.09 million. And here are the notable gainers, led by the Manila Bulletin with 7.23% at a price of 0.445 per share, followed by the Discovery World with 4.68% at a price of 1 peso and 79 cents per share. Next, the RL Commercial with notable gains of 4.49% at a price of 8.15. Next, the First Abacus with 4.48% increase at a price of 0.7 per share. Also, the iRemit closed at a price of 83 cents per share and with notable gains of 3.75%. Next, the Pacific Online System with gains of 3.43% at a price of 1 peso and 81 cents per share. Next, the Ayala Land closed at a price of 34 pesos and 9 cents and with gains of 3.41%. Next, the Trans-Pacific Broadband with notable gains of 3.33% at a price of 0.31. Next, the Ortholand with increase of 3.23% at a price of 64 cents per share. And among the top 10 top gainers is the Manila Mining with 3.16% at a price of 0.0098 per share. And the early decliners are the following. Anchorland with 11.68% losses at a price of 5.67. Next, the ATN Holdings with losses of 7.06% at a price of 0.395 per share. Next, the Berjaya with 6.50% losses at a price of 5.610 per share. Next, the Millennium Global lost 6.33% at a price of 0.148 or 148 cents per share. Next, the Frutas lost 5.65% at a price of 1.17. Also, the Euromed Laboratories with losses of 5.41% at a price of 1 peso and 4 cents per share. Followed by the Philippine 7 with 4.89% losses at a price of 87 pesos and 50 cents. Next, the Mabuhay Vinyl with 4.65% losses at a price of 4 pesos and 1 cent. Also, the Rojas with 4.48% losses at a price of 64 cents per share. Lastly, the AC Energy Philippines lost 4.46% at a price of 9 pesos and 65 cents per share. And this is the latest on Forex. For US dollar, the dollar index hovered around 96.2 on Thursday, while the offshore yuan eased to around 6.375 per US dollar. The Australian dollar depreciated past 0.718 US dollar. The euro held at 1.13 US dollar. The Japanese yen edged up toward 115.75 per US dollar, and the New Zealand dollar depreciated past 0.677 US dollar. And here are the updates on commodities. For gold price, the gold extended losses below the key psychological level of 1,800 US dollars per ounce. While the crude futures fell about 1% to trade around 77 US dollars per barrel. The Brent crude futures fell about 1% to trade around 80 US dollars per barrel. And the natural gas prices in Europe rose further to 97 euros per megawatt hour, the highest in a week. And here are the stock market updates. In US, contracts on both the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 futures rebounded from yesterday's Fed fallout while the Nasdaq remained in the red. While in Australia, the S&P or ASX 200 index dropped 2.74% to close at 7,358 on Thursday, posting its biggest decline since September 2020. Losses in the tech sector were led by the Afterpay, 10.76%, Zip Company with 6.1%, Novanix with 7.3%, Zero with 4%, WiseTech Global with 5.5%, and BrainChip Holdings with 3.8% losses. All other sectors of the market declined with sharp losses from the big four banks, high-growth lithium explorers, and giant healthcare firms. In New Zealand, the New Zealand Exchange 50 index dropped 1.27% to close at 12,983 on Thursday, its biggest one-day decline since November 26. The technology, healthcare, transportation, and consumer sectors led a market decline with notable losses from Fisher and Paykel with 1.96%, Evos Group 1.41%, A2 Milk with 2.42%, Oakland International with 2.79%, Mainfret with 0.95%, and PushPay Holdings with 3.85% among others. In United Kingdom, the FTSE 100 dropped nearly 1% to 7,450 on Thursday after touching a near two-year high in the previous session and following a global sell-off in equity markets. In China, the Shanghai Composite slipped 0.25% to close at 3,586, while the Shenzhen Component fell 0.66% to 14,430 on Thursday, with both averages declining for a third straight day amid concerns over China's COVID lockdowns. Consumer staples, technology, and transportation stocks led the declines, with losses from Quetzal Mute 2.06%, Wuliang Yibin with 1.91%, East Money with 3.17%, Luxshare Precision with 2.82%, and Costco Shipping with 3.38% among others. In France, the CAC 40 index fell 1.3% to hover around 7,280 on Thursday after reaching the record high of 7,385 on the last session. On the corporate front, tech shares fell 2.6%, led by Capgemini 3.8% and Dassault Systems with 2.7%. Less optimistic expectations on the economy also hit luxury goods stocks, as seen in LVMH with 2.4% and Hermes with 2.5%. While in South Africa, the FTSE or JSE All-Share Index fell more than 1% to around 74,240 on Thursday. On the corporate front, mining and tech stocks were among the worst performers. In Japan, the Nikkei 225 index dropped 2.88% to close at 28,488, while the broader topics index fell 2.07% to 1,997 on Thursday, as technology and other growth stocks sold off on fears over more aggressive monetary tightening by the U.S. Federal Reserve. Notable losses among tech stocks include Tokyo Electron with 3.63%, Keyence with 5.36% losses, Recruit Holdings with 6.32%, M3 Incorporated with 6.7% losses, and Advantest with 4.43%. All other sectors of the market declined, with sharp losses from consumer, healthcare, and transportation stocks. In Europe, European stocks fell from records on Thursday amid a global sell-off in technology shares and bonds, as investors digested the minutes of the U.S. Federal Reserve policy meeting. Frankfurt's DAX 30 lost more than 1% to 16,100 in early trading, while other major European bourses fell between 0.9% and 1.4%. And this is the latest in bonds. In France, the 10-year government bond yield increased to a 9-week high of 0.264%, while in Germany, it increased to a 31-month high of 0.058%. In Italy, the bond yield increased to a 17-month high of 1.289%. In US, the yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury yield rallied for a fifth consecutive session to 1.73% on Thursday, the highest on a closing basis since March 31st, 2021. While in United Kingdom, the yield on UK 10-year government bond extended gains above 1.1% in early January, hitting its highest level since October 25th. And in Japan, the benchmark soared above 0.11% on Thursday, levels not seen since April 2021, prompting the Bank of Japan to defend its target by offering to pump 2 trillion yen via temporary bond buying. And here is a trivia. Apple becomes first US company to reach $3 trillion market cap. Apple hit a market cap of $3 trillion during intraday trading on Monday, tripling its valuation in under 4 years. Apple broke the barrier when its share price hit $182.86. The milestone is mostly symbolic, but it shows investors remain bullish on Apple stock and its ability to grow. Apple showed annual growth across all of its product categories in its fourth quarter earnings, with revenue up 29% year over year. While the iPhone is still the biggest sales driver, Apple services business grew 25.6% year over year and delivered more than $18 billion in revenue during the quarter. And analysts see plenty of room to run. And this is Emmy from Philippines reporting. Thank you.